He's just got to grow up. That's what head coach Mike Tomlin had to say about George Pickens following his most recent antics against the Cincinnati Bengals. And while the NFL let Pickens get off easily following last week's fight against Browns cornerback Greg Newsome, Pickens could be in for a rude awakening come Saturday. Hey everyone, Rob Gregson of A to Z Sports Pittsburgh, and we're going to discuss why George Pickens could face a hefty set of fines later this week. Look, following his fight against Browns cornerback Greg Newsome on the last play of the game in last week's Thursday night football game, one would assume that Pickens would be on his best behavior. But it was anything of the sort against the Cincinnati Bengals. Following a touchdown grab, Pickens decided to take the ball and punt it into the stands. And while that's relatively tame for George Pickens standards, it's still a finable offense and just a boneheaded play. To make matters worse, however, after a big catch on the sideline, Pickens was called for a taunting penalty after he stepped over a Bengals DB and spun the ball in his area. But in what could be his most concerning play yet, Pickens was then called for a gun-like gesture after pointing to Bengals fans in the stands after a first down play. And look, after the game, he said, well, I was just making a first down gesture and the referees got it wrong and I'm sorry and I never meant to hurt the team and I just wish that it wasn't interpreted that way, is what Pickens had to say. But let's be honest. Where there's smoke, there's fire with George Pickens, and drama just tends to follow him everywhere he goes, dating back all the way to his time with the Georgia Bulldogs. And sure, the fines might be relatively cheap compared to how much he earns right now, but it's the earning potential that George Pickens is losing out on. The Steelers, just like any other franchise, are going to have to decide if Pickens' juice is worth the squeeze. Sure, we know he makes miraculous grabs, we know he's a great 50-50 ball winner, and we know that he's one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. But when you have to worry about what he does not only during the week and off the field, but within the game in terms of penalty yardages, it's just something that, quite frankly, teams, franchises, owners, GMs, they're not going to be a fan of. And for Pickens, he's got to shape up. As Mike Tomlin said, it's going on year 3 now, about to be the end of year 3, and he just simply needs to grow up.